Okay, hi guys, how are you?
Hi.
Congratulations, I really love the film. So let's start it. Your characters are both gangsters, but kind in a different way than the ones we see in gangsters movies. How do you get that tone? How do you build that?
Well, I went back to the original, the comics, the Frank Miller comics that were obviously influenced by 70s movies. And originally, Batman is a detective comic. So I was looking at a lot of the early comics and then the comics from Frank Miller, especially year one. And so I took a lot from there. And I'm a film noir fan, so I like that.
Okay,
So, yeah.
thank you. Colin?
Yeah, say I read some of Frank Miller's stuff, year one as well, and then but essentially what was on the page for me was was enough kind of to get a sense of where Oz was at this stage in his career, and I imagine every single gangster that's ever existed has dreamt of power and money, and they are things that compel Oz to exist in the world that he does. So he's not in any place of real power in this
Mhm.
film. He's very much a soldier in Falcone's army, but he has dreams of kind of greatness. So that was the touchstone for me.
Yeah.
Speaking of touchdowns, Colin, it's true that 20 years ago you tested to be Batman in a Batman versus Superman movie that is going to what
No, but I was no never tested. But I think I was part of a conversation. It might have been me and 50 actors, or me and seven,
okay.
or I don't know. But I think there was a conversation at one stage about that a long, long, long time ago.
Okay, and
Galaxy
now
far, far away from here, man.
but now you are one of his most iconic villains. Is it true
Fun.
that they say that villains are more fun to play?
Do you know what the word "fun" probably is? Yeah, I mean, it really is to play a villain because you're not constrained by any kind of stringent morality, or any kind of social s'mores or regard for what people think, or there's a kind of a freedom sometimes with villainous characters that if you're playing a character who has more of a moral compass, you don't really get to explore possibly as much. So I had a blast. I had a blast with this. It was a lot of fun. It was very liberating.
I mean, if you
Okay.
go back to the old movies, you're always the person that you would follow. If you go back to like the Warner Brothers movies, like Angels with Dirty Faces,
Oh, I
you
was just
want to
thinking of
follow
that.
James Cagney, but
Yeah,
you don't want to follow Patrick,
I
Pat
know,
O'Brien.
totally, totally.
And that's sort of,
Yeah.
the template for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
these things.
God, what a
Yeah.
film, Angels with Dirty
Yeah.
Faces.
Oh yes, man.
It's
Sean,
crushing.
your son works at DC Comics. Did he help you in some way to prepping
Yes.
the
Yeah.
role? This was like
Amadeo is
a family work.
a Batman expert. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I remember you
Okay.
telling me
When
that.
he was when she was Amadeo was very small. I used to go to a gym. I, Amadeo would have the figures. He played with the figures of Batman and Catwoman, and all these guys would be lifting, and they were all these muscle men, and they would become mesmerized with, of course, the small figurine of Catwoman. And you would see them pick him up. Say, "Can I look at this for a second?" And yes, so yes, Amadeo was very, very helpful.
Has he seen it
Okay.
yet, John?
Yeah, I saw it, and Amadeo really loved
Sweet,
it.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
my
that was
son has.
I was really happy and relieved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Mine's
Yeah,
12, but he's
yeah,
he's pretty astute and he loves this world as well. So he was over
yeah.
the moon with it.
Okay, that's a blast, man. I have to wrap up. Thank you so much. I love the work. I love you, man. So thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks, Matt.
thank you.
Hi guys, nice to meet you. Congratulations. I love the movie. I really, really like. As a fan, I really love the movie. So a
Cool.
couple of questions. Paul, your performance is nothing like we have seen before with the riddle. We hardly see your face. How challenging was that on an acting level?
Well, the mask was supremely helpful because I think this Edward was a person who probably carried a lot of shame, a lot of doubt, a lot of self hatred. and all sorts of feelings from his past, and I don't think he grew up in a place, Gotham, that allowed him to ever be himself. So I think the mask allowed him to be his perhaps true self. So I found the mask to be very empowering, and it was something that I could really work with as an actor to sort of unleash all the parts of him that may have been dormant for so long and let them just come sort of spewing out.
And you didn't have to wear a COVID mask on set either, I guess.
That's true, that was, yeah.
Right.
Double mask.
Just thought of that, yeah.
Jeffrey, we know that Jim Gordon is a good man, is a good guy, but at the same time, in this movie, there is something mysterious about him with his relationship with Batman. How did you compose this character?
Well, I think both of them are kind of isolated. Gotham is a place where there's not a lot of trust to be found, and it's in a pretty desperate state. So I think they're both Gordon and Batman are kind of holding things very close to the vest. Obviously, Batman has a lot of secrets, and Gordon as well is not the most forthcoming. And I've read some of the the more contemporary comics as well, and I really think some of the explorations, and in fact, some of those that Matt referenced to some extent, Long Halloween. I read Year One, read others, but Gordon has a complex backstory that I found interesting. That yes, he's trying to to be a good man, a good cop in the midst of decay, but under the surface, there, like the city that he inhabits, there's challenges, there's tensions, there's trouble, as you would expect for someone who's trying to navigate all that he is. And so I tried to hold on to a little bit of that as well, that he's a good man, but he's not a perfect man.
Okay, thank you. Last question for the both of you. Do you have a more nerdy, I think, as aspect of your life? You collect something, being on a Batman movie brought something of your childhood back?
Well, for me, it absolutely did. I mean, I did read comics as a kid. I probably have a box somewhere in my parents' house, but I hadn't as an adult, and I just loved reading and just enjoying all of this Batman world, and it sort of reopened me to another medium. But I think probably what I'm nerdy about is movies.
Well, I mean, I was nerding out on the comics as well. My first introduction to Batman was the TV series with Adam West. I mean, and I was, as they used to call them back then, a Bat maniac, I suppose. 8, 9 years old, and I read a few of the comics. But when we started filming, I went back and read, some of the Golden Age stuff. The beginning of 1939 and the Bronze Age stuff. Just wanted to kind of track a bit of the evolution of the series over these 80 years, and also track Gordon. So I was fully nerding out on all of that while we were filming, which was good fun.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. I have to wrap up. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.